They are traditional powers in football. Today they meet in the Class 1A semifinals in baseball. From Peoria at O'Brien Field, it's Lena Winslow taking on Tuscola. And hi again, everybody. I'm Dave Bernhardt, joined by my partner, Hall of Fame coach, state championship coach Mark Lindo. And these two teams, relative newcomers to the state baseball finals. In fact, Tuscola making only their second appearance. They finished fourth in 2008. And for Lena Winslow, first time ever playing in a state finals. And Mark, you take a look at these two ball clubs, an interesting matchup. We could see a little bit of offense here today.
Both teams play very aggressive baseball. Both teams love to run. Both teams love to hit and run. So you'll see wide open offense here today. You got two pitchers that are very effective, but definitely not overpowering or electric stuff. So we will have to see defense make plays today.
A lot of black and gold on this field here today. Lena Winslow, the visiting team, they are 27-11-1. This is how they'll go. Leading it off will be Casey Schrader, the shortstop, batting second. Today's pitcher, Jake Olberding. Batting third, he has big offensive numbers. It's the third baseman, Cole Logeman. Adam Werhane bats in the cleanup spot, playing first. The right fielder, Evan Heer, is in the fifth spot, batting sixth. Dakota Kane, the catcher. Seth Dasher, the center fielder, hits seventh. Dylan Hastings, the left fielder, bats eighth. And Ryan Wyburn, the second baseman, will bat ninth for Lena Winslow. And they'll be facing the right-handed offerings of a busy man here this season. That's Jacob Barr.
Jacob Barr, 7-5. A 3.69 earned run average. He's been very busy on the hill. 68 in a third innings. He has allowed 74 hits. So again, opponents have moved the baseball against Jacob Barr. His defense will have to make plays today. 63 punch-outs on the season against 29 base on balls for Jacob Barr. And this should be a situation where Jacob Barr, if he's around the zone, there's no doubt Lena Winslow will be jumping on him. Again, his defense behind him has to make plays. So to call the second semifinal game, here's the Hall of Fame voice of the IHSA, Dave Bernhard.
Thank you very much, Mark. Stepping into the plate will be Casey Schrader for Lena Winslow. Their first pitch that they will ever have in the state finals comes by way of Jacob Barr, and Schrader will take it up high. Schrader on the season, 460 batting average, 460, 41 runs batted in, 10 doubles, 4 triples, and a home run. And he'll hit this one hard to center field, charging hard, Philip Meyer, who will make the catch. For Tuscola, you will hear a lot of familiar names because 5 of the 6 seniors on this team have played the last 3 state finals football games for Tuscola, including Philip Meyer, the center fielder. He is an all-state quarterback.
And he ran that one down like a quarterback, knew what he was doing, heard the sound off the bat, and ran that one down in right center field.
Jake Olberding steps to the plate defensively for Tuscola. Jimmy Knight, Philip Meyer, and Nolan Walsh left to right. Pitch to Olberding to the shortstop, Dylan Hole, the coach's son. Up, 2 up, 2 down. Defensively for Tuscola in the infield, Tommy Watson's over at third. We just talked about Dylan Hole at short. Dan Yoakum's the second baseman. Josh Brookins at first. Behind the plate is Tristan Williams. And now to the number 3 hitter, the Lena Winslow lineup, Cole Logeman. For this pitch, we'll give you Logeman's numbers. Well, he won't give us much of a chance. To the third baseman, nice pickup, Watson. That's a 1-2-3 inning. Jacob Barr threw about 6 pitches, and that is it. We will head to the bottom of the first. It's Tuscola's turn to swing the bats. Tuscola, 23 wins and 13 losses. Their batting order looks like this. Dan Yoakum, the second baseman, to lead it off. Philip Meyer in center field. Dylan Hole hits in the third spot. He's the shortstop. TJ Onstadt doing the hitting. He is batting for the catcher, Tristan Williams. Batting fifth, it'll be Nolan Walsh in right field. Josh Brookins is the first baseman, hitting 6th. Number 7 hitter, Jacob Barr, bats for himself. He is the pitcher. Tommy Watson, third baseman, hits 8th. And Jimmy Knight, the left fielder, will bat 9th. Then we'll get a lefty on the mound here for Leewin. It will be Jake Olberding.
Olberding, a lefty, as you mentioned, 7-2 coming into this baseball game. Solid, but not superlative earned run average of 3.41. 51 and a third innings pitched. He does have a strikeout pitch of 54 Ks in that 51 and a third innings, and 25 base on balls, which is rather high. Free passes will be very important today to minimize the offense of each of these two teams.
Defensively for Leewin, Dylan Hastings in left, Seth Dasher is the center fielder, Evan Heer is in right. Cole Logeman, I didn't get to give you his offensive numbers. I'll sneak him in right now. Logeman, 496 batting average, 61 runs batted in, and 56 runs. We'll see him later on. He's a third baseman. Casey Schrader is at short. Ryan Wyburn's a second baseman. Adam Werhane at first. Doing the catching, Dakota Kane. First pitch from Olberding. A little bit up high. Our umpires today, Keith Medema is behind the plate, Scott Russell at first, and Rick Culler, the third base umpire. Same crew that we had in the first game, won by Effingham St. Anthony, 6-2 over Alton Marquette. So the Bulldogs will be playing for the state title tomorrow at 11 a.m. against one of these two teams right here. 2 balls and no strikes to Dan Yoakum leading it off for the Warriors from Tuscola. 263 hitter. And that's a strike, 2-1.
263, not the kind of numbers you would expect from a leadoff hitter with a team in the state semis, but he handles the bat well. Seeing his 4th pitch of this at bat, a very disciplined plate appearance.
And the count goes to 3-1. Well, this is a big day for Tuscola Athletics. Both their girls and boys qualified for the state finals. Boys in baseball, girls in softball, however, bad news for Tuscola fans in softball as Yoakum will pick up the leadoff walk. Warriors from Tuscola in softball just crossed the river in East Peoria, lost to Seymour 1-0. And how heartbreaking is this? The 1 run comes on a leadoff, walk-off home run in the bottom of the 7th inning. So Tuscola girls, losers across the river in East Peoria. I would suspect that we will see a lot of those players show up here in Peoria for this one. That ball game was completed probably about 45 minutes to an hour ago.
Tough way to walk off the field for the Tuscola ladies, but getting to the semifinals, an outstanding accomplishment. And like their male counterparts, they'll be playing tomorrow and taking home trophy no matter what.
This is Philip Meyer at the plate. A little toss over to first base from Oberding. Meyer, as we said, the All-State quarterback in baseball, a .299 average with 18 runs batted in. How about Meyer's football numbers? Over 2,400 yards and 27 touchdowns passing. He also rushed for over 800 yards and scored 11 touchdowns on the ground.
Dual threat quarterbacks, gotta love him. Put so much pressure on a defense, and that's the kind of athlete that he is.
And you just saw right here on the baseball field, trying to put a little pressure on the Leewin defense with that bunt attempt down the first base line.
Tuscola's put pressure on defenses throughout this tournament. They've outscored their opponents 53-17 in the tournament. So basically domination, except for a 7-6 win over Danville Schlarman. That was the only close game.
That will get away from the catcher, Dakota Kane. It will send Yoakum down to second base. Tuscola defeated Tremont 10-6 in the Super Sectional at the University of Illinois. In fact, both the boys and the girls were playing on fields near each other, and that one the girls did get their victory prior to the boys' game, so the girls came over and watched the rest of the boys' game. In that Super, Tuscola pounded out 14 hits. Meyer high in the infield foul territory. Nice grab by Dakota Kane. Warriors start out in the regional with run-shortened games, 18-0 over Villa Grove and 10-0 over Bemet, and then knocked off Leroy 8-5 in the semifinals of the Danville sectional. They needed a 4-run 7th-inning rally, however, to knock off Leroy. Then Mark mentioned the 11th-inning win, 7-6 over Danville Schlarman. Dylan Hole, the coach's son at the plate. Hole, another one of the football players on this team. Offensively for Hole, a .422 batting average. He's got some pop. 10 doubles, couple of triples, and 6 home runs.
Also a pitcher, but they love when he's in shortstop. They think that's when their team has its best defense on the field.
To the third baseman. Logeman can't handle it. Sprinting for third is Yoakum, and he's there. An error on Logeman will put runners at first and third.
And that was really good base running by Yoakum. Yes, Logeman with the error, but Yoakum with the play right in front of him. He was holding. Base running rules say you have to make the ball go through on the left side. He did just that, but had a good secondary lead, extended that lead. Then when he saw the ball roll away from Logeman, he saw the empty base and then went ahead and took it advanced.
There goes Hole, but he can stand up going into second base as Onstad is hit by a pitch. And a potential big inning in the making here for Tuscola, and head coach Tom Smargessi will make a trip to the mound here, get things settled down. This bottom half of the inning looks so familiar. We just experienced this in the first inning both ways in our first semifinal. It was a ball game that Alton Marquette started with a 2-run top of the first inning, and St. Anthony came back with 4 runs in the bottom on way to a 6-2 win. Bases loaded, 1 out.
Again, just a situation where you want to calm down your pitcher. He needs to let the game come to him right now as Olberding and just play 1 pitch at a time. It's the way he needs to go ahead and approach this situation.
Brings up Nolan Walsh. Walsh, a 6-foot, 160-pound junior, 383 average. He bats with Yoakum at third, Hole at second, and Onstad at first. Here comes a runner breaking for the plate. Ball in the dirt. Safe at home, and a throw at third not in time. So Yoakum will steal home. How about that? And now Tom Smargessi wants to come out and ask what's happening. There's still a runner between first and second base. And now a rundown at first base. Runner at third breaks. Here he comes for home. How about that? Now was time called? Whoa, what a base running maneuver by Tuscola.
And if time was called, I will flat out guarantee you that no one asked for it. I flat out guarantee. Now, obviously, one of the umpires called for time, but I don't know what was asked for down on the field. But I tell you what, Duff Hole is just flat out playing open-ended baseball right there at steal home, and then they kept the runner in the play right there on Onstad. Unbelievable base running right there. And what exciting baseball it was.
Well, let's see if we can recap, because as powerful as television is, you could not have captured everything with what happened. Well, here is, you see Smargessi, he's getting out of the play because all of a sudden he sees things still happening. This is the tail end of what was happening here, and I don't know how much of this is going to stand up. All right, let's set it up for you. Bases loaded. The runner at third, Dan Yoakum, breaks for the plate. The throw is low. Yoakum slides in. He's called safe. Meanwhile, Hole, who was on second base, goes to third. The runner at first, Onstad, in the midst of all this excitement, arguing whatever, he is now just walking off between first and second. He gets caught in a rundown. He's safe because they throw to the third baseman, but in that time, Hole came into what appeared to be a score, and after having said all that, I can tell you only 1 run is in. They have sent Hole back to third and Onstad back to first. Do you have it?
So when was timeout called? That's what Coach Hole is Duff Hole's trying to figure out, is who called timeout on the field. You mentioned Coach Smargessi. He came out on the field, was trying to get some definition on a play at the home plate, but the play was still alive at that juncture.
Well, and you made a great point, Mark. There was not a player in the field that would have called timeout, or even if they had, shouldn't have been granted it.
Right.
But bottom line is only one run comes in.
Yeah, you can't call timeout when the play is alive in baseball. You can't stop a runner between first and second and call time.
Well, this is a Tuscola team. This is what they like to do. They like to run. They have great speed, and they have quite a play. And now they're going to get a base hit up the middle. It gets over the bag. Nolan Walsh will get the RBI. Coming in to score will be Hole. Moving to second is Onstad. It's 2-0, Tuscola.
Base hit right back up the middle, and let's recap those runs right there. What you have is Yoakum. He led off with a walk. He scores, and E5 ends up scoring, and then a hit batsman. So it was a part of this play with 2 runners on now. So they have some free runners, if you will, and a couple base hits mixed in.
Josh Brookins at the plate. Brookins takes inside following the RBI from Nolan Walsh. So here's the mindset. I mean, you have 2 runs in. You have runners first and second with 1 out, but the mindset now has been planted by Tuscola. We are going to run these bases, and all of a sudden that puts extra pressure on the defense. Pickoff attempt. Fairly close, but Onstad will get back.
Well, Yoakum, the leadoff man, Dan Yoakum has 36 steals on the year. But Coach Holt told us that 4 other guys have a green light when they're on second base. Not first base, but second base. When they know they can get some extra steps, secondary lead, they're on their own. So they'll run anytime, any count, any situation.
No balls and 2 strikes now to Brookins. Jacob Barra waits on deck. A 2-run bottom of the first inning here for Tuscola. Still just 1 out. To center field. Dasher didn't get a read on it. Ball drops, and everybody's going to be safe. I don't know if Dasher saw the ball that well because he did not make a great break on it.
That ball was softly hit, and sometimes a center fielder or any outfielder, they go off the sound of the bat first. You see Dasher in your picture getting a late jump on that. Base runner Walsh was actually going back to the base, thinking there would be a catch. Instead, base is juiced and the pressure remains on.
Jacob Barr at the plate. The infield back. Corners even with the bags here for Lewin. Barr, a .321 hitter, just 14 runs batted in this year and 81 at bats.
Stay strong here.
Oberding misses outside. Boy, how often do we see in state finals play where first innings, little mistakes can turn into big innings. Good pitch, waving at him, missing it is Barr.
Oberding only about 75 miles an hour with his velocity. He throws all 3 pitches for strikes. He'll be playing ball at Highland Community College next year. His father, Scott, was a summer league coach in the community.
Ball put in play to the shortstop Schrader. They get the out at second, but a run will score. 3-0 Tuscola. Moving to third base will be Walsh. 2 gone, first and third for Tommy Watson. And now we'll get a courtesy runner for the pitcher. Barr will come off. Zach Bates will run for him.
You know, I had a chance to visit with Coach Duff Hole, and what an animated person he is. He loves to talk baseball. He loves to talk about his baseball team. He's very aggressive in his communication approach. He's very aggressive in his coaching approach. And I flat out guarantee first and third right now, something's going on the bases in this at bat. Might be a backdoor steal with a left-handed pitcher.
Nobody moves on the first pitch. Tommy Watson, the number 8 hitter in the lineup. 5'10" freshman. Bates the lead at first. Still no movement. Line drive, base hit, another run in, RBI single, Tommy Watson. It's 4-0 Tuscola. Third hit of the inning as Walsh comes in to score.
Well, you mentioned it, 14 hits in the super sectional, and they have 3 up on the board already. 3 out of 5, if you will, batting in this inning. And they have been very aggressive in their approach, very disciplined as far as hitting the ball back up the middle and just going with the pitch of Oberding.
Brings up Jimmy Knight, the left fielder, with runners at first and second. 2 gone. Knight, limited action this season. This is just his 15th game. Had his finger smashed on a bunt in the second game of the season. One of those where you hold on to the bat and the pitch runs inside on you and just smashed his finger. He was out until just recently, obviously having only played now in his 15th game of the year.
Had surgery and came back just about regional time. Tommy Watson, who just had that previous hit, replaced him in the lineup. And Tommy Watson played so well, he's remained in the lineup. They kind of taken advantage of the opportunity.
Jimmy Knight, yet another player, a 2-way starter on the second place football team this year, 674 yards receiving, along with 8 touchdowns. He's taking all the way on 3-0, and we've got ourselves a base loaded once again, and we're going to bat around Here comes Dan Yoakum back to the plate. He started this inning with the walk.
So Olberding definitely laboring. 4-0. Little bit manageable. 5, 6, 7. Not so much. So this is actually a pretty huge at-bat here for Dan Yoakum as they've turned the lineup all the way over.
Well, you pointed it out early, Mark. The first 4 batters, walk, error, hit by pitch. Those people get on, steal a couple bases, then you have 3 singles after that. Yoakum back up again. Olberding from the full windup. Take a curveball inside.
Come on, Jake.
Leads at all the bases. Yoakum puts it in play to Schrader. He's going to make the long throw across. Better hurry. Got him by an eyelash. Yoakum nearly beats that one out. However, the inning comes to a close for Lewin. They're happy to get off the field. For Tuscola, they pick up 4 runs. They do it by way of 3 hits, throw in an error. They leave 3. We played 1. Your second class 1A semifinal, and the Warriors from Tuscola on top of Lewin 4-0. A cool afternoon in Peoria on June 1st, 61 degrees, wind coming from the left field line to the right field line at 12 miles per hour, and Lewin will lead it off with Ellen Werhane, a deep fly ball left field corner, and it's caught. Jimmy Knight tracks it down deep in that corner as Adam Werhane put a charge into it. White shows his speed, his ability, he navigates the walls and makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Werhane, first ball, fastball hunting. He has 3 home runs on the year, so he showed some power on that one. You see him pull his hands right through, and what a nice catch by Knight, who not familiar, of course, with this ballpark, but knew where the padded wall was at and ran that down as Werhane put a big charge into that first ball fastball.
Brings up Evan here. Here takes the first 2 pitches inside for Lena Winslow, their first appearance at state baseball finals, their first inning in the finals, an eventful one defensively and on the mound. Here, 265 batting average for the 5'10 junior. Jacob Barr on the mound. He'll throw a 3-0 curve.
Lena Winslow with 9 starters, so that experience is going to have to pick them up a little bit right now. There can't be any panic in this senior-laden team. This senior class, with their super section win, 100 victories as a senior class. Pretty impressive. And that was Coach Smargiasi's 300th career win, all in the same ball game, which catapulted them here to the state semis.
Yeah, how about Tom Smargiasi? His first year at Lena Winslow in 1997, he was 1-15. And all of a sudden, you pick up your 300th win in the super sectional. He was quite emotional, obviously. They defeated Ottawa Marquette 6-0, but all of a sudden they say, hey, by the way, your 300th win. Everything all came together for him there. At the plate now, Dakota Kane, catcher for the Panthers. To the right side, Yoakum can't handle it. That will be an error on the second baseman, Dan Yoakum.
Coach Smargiasi, he will keep an even keel. If he does that, his team will as well. Teams feed off the emotion of their coach, no matter what sport. And baseball is not one of those sports you can get too emotional in. You gave up 4 runs, you're chasing 4, but you know what? The tying runs in the on-deck circle. That's how much and how quickly a ball game can change.
Seth Dasher, the center fielder, at the plate.
Get a good read here.
Dasher just a 242 batting average.
Good there, Evan.
Again, yet another senior. A block at home plate by Williams. Well, if you're on the Tuscola side of this field, whether you're in the dugout or in the stands, you're just asking for Jacob Barr. Hang on now. You know, you don't want to give back anything you earned in the last half inning. And it will be 3-0.
Well, Lena Winslow, check this out. 19 times they scored in double digits. 19 times they scored in double digits. They had run production in games of 32 runs, 26 runs, and 22 runs. So this team can put points on the board. When you can score double digits 19 times, 4 means very little to you right now.
Second walk of the inning. 2 walks sandwiched around an error, and just like that, the Panthers have the bases loaded. This is after, in the first inning, Jacob Barr retired the side in order on about 6 pitches. Dylan Hastings will come to the plate. Hastings, a left fielder, a right-handed hitter, 5'8" senior, a .239 average. They score a lot of runs, not necessarily the high batting averages, and Barr goes breaking ball for strike 1.
Yeah, what new? 2 base on balls and an error involved in this bases loaded jam.
They look to get the out at third, as here was very much aware of any pickoff attempt there, gets back easily.
Bases loaded, a 4-run lead. First baseman Josh Brookins playing up inside of the grass area. Very surprising.
Tuscola, a record of 23-13. Lena Winslow, 27-11-1. High and tight to Hastings. Lena Winslow knocked off Pearl City 10-6, then Warren 7-4 in the regional, and then in their own sectional defeated Aquin from Freeport 11-4 and Somonauk 6-4. Barr struggling here. Count 3-1.
Lena Winslow's wrestling team was second in dual meet tournament this year. As you mentioned, 2010 they beat Tuscola in the football title game, so success has been around Lee Wynn.
Swinging 3-1, a pop-up in the infield, and the pitcher Barr will make the catch as Dylan Hastings flips his bat to the ground in disgust. He did not get the swing he wanted on 3-1, and the bases loaded. There's Hastings. That's not a good decision there.
Got to take care of that wrist if you're going to bat again. Frustration abounds.
Now Ryan Wyburn, the number 9 hitter in the order, up the middle. Yoakum there, flips for the out, and Barr escapes. Bases loaded with 1 out, pop out, ground out, and consecutive pitches. No runs in for Lee Wynn. We'll go to the bottom of the second, 4-0 Tuscola. Palm trees in Peoria. Well, not so much today. The trees may be there, but the temperatures are not palm tree weather. Temperature in the low 60s. We're not going to get much higher than that. It's supposed to be a little bit warmer tomorrow for our finals day. Of course, 2 games later on in 2A today, Rock Island Alleman takes on Herscher, and Westland from Trenton, Illinois, takes on U-High.
So how'd those palm trees get here?
You dig them up, you stick them in the ground.
And how'd they survive the winter, huh?
Philip Meyer leading things off here in the second inning. 10 men came to the plate for Tuscola in the first. Meyer made one of the early outs. He fouled out to the catcher his first time up. Jake Olberding on the mound, and this is a base hit for Meyer. Ripped on that high pitch. Leadoff man aboard.
Well, you talked about him being the football quarterback and how successful he was in the football season. You can just see the way he carries himself as an athlete. His athleticism, nice picture of him at first base, well built. You can see how chiseled his lower body is, and what a fine athlete Philip Meyer is. And he just drilled that ball.
And that's going to be it for Jake Olberding. So Tom Smargessi cannot wait any longer. Olberding will head out to the outfield. We'll try to figure out all the defensive maneuverings that Lee Wynn will have, and that's always a tough one, right? When you get in here, you face 11 batters, and then you're done. But you don't, there's no time. You're not playing a 2 out of 3 game series. You have to take care of business right now. Casey Schrader will come on and do the pitching. Schrader moves from shortstop. into the mound. We'll get the rest of the defensive changes in a moment.
So we'll take a look at Schrader's number as you try to look up what other maneuvers taking place. Schrader is indeed a senior, 5'9", 160. Very solid 4-0 average. Our 4-0 record, 31 1/3 innings pitched, to 1.79 ERA. 36 strikeouts in that 31 1/3 innings. Very impressive. 15 walks, just 23 hits allowed. So he can punch you out, and his job right now is to basically keep his team within striking distance and try to get that omnipotent offense a chance to play catch-up baseball here. But they can't get too much deeper chasing 4 right now.
War paint on the face there of Casey Schrader. I don't know if you can get that much glare from the sun here in Peoria. Well, we can tell you that Evan here has moved from right field to shortstop to take Schrader's place. And it will be Oberding that will go to right to take here. So Oberding and right, here at short, Schrader on the mound. Your outfield, Hastings, Dasher, Oberding, Logeman here, Wyburn and Werhane third to first. In the infield, Dakota Kane behind the plate, Casey Schrader at the mound. And at the plate to swing the stick is Dylan Hole. Philip Meyer, the lead at first. Long look down to his father, the father-son combination. They've worked together their entire lives, coach and son. They've had their moments, as all father-son, not just in sports, but otherwise would have. Dylan Hole, a 3-year football starter, academic all-state team in football this past season as well. I'll give you the best number in a second. There goes Meyer on a breaking ball. The throw down off the glove of the second baseman, Ryan Wyburn. It will be a stolen base for Meyer. They had a shot on the throw from Kane to Wyburn, tailed a little bit.
Yeah, that ball started going away from Wyburn. Wyburn tried to make the catch and tag simultaneously, was not able to corral the baseball, and Meyer, with a decent jump, gets the stolen base, moves into scoring position.
Hole looks at it inside. Okay, here's the number I like the best for Dylan Hole. National Honor Society student. That's great. We've already talked about his academic progress. How about this? Perfect attendance his entire school career. We're talking kindergarten through his graduation most recently. Hits the ball hard to the shortstop, comes up a little bit on here, and the throw is not in time. Hole will beat it out. Meyer held at second. Smart Jesse doesn't like the call, neither do the Lewin fans.
And I tell you what, Hole can flat out run. That was a strong throw by Evan here after he had bobbled the ball initially, but getting down the line like a bullet was Dylan Hole to beat that and create another error. And an opportunity right now for Tuscola to just keep adding.
First and second, nobody out for TJ Onstad. He was hit by a pitch. He only saw one pitch from, at that time, Jake Oberding. Now he faces the right-hander, Casey Schrader.
TJ Onstad, not once but twice hurt on the football field. Would have been the starting catcher for this Tuscola team. Had a torn labrum and was out. Got hurt again this year. So sophomore catcher Tristan Williams is in his place defensively. Onstad still gets to swing the bat.
He'll be playing his football next year at Lindenwood Belleville. Meyer has to dance back. Here's an award that Tuscola High School gives, very interesting, and it was won by Onstad. He won the award as the senior at Tuscola who improved his grade point average the most from his junior to senior year. This one is fisted foul.
That's interesting. One, that kudos to him for doing that, and two, I think that's a great award.
It is a great award.
I think that's a great award for somebody that makes strides academically.
You know, and that's tough to do, increasing your GPA from junior to senior year, because A lot of young students just don't realize that the grades you get your freshman, sophomore years have a big impact on that GPA that will stay with you through 4 years. 2 balls and a strike now to Onstadt. He scored a run, came in on a fielder's choice ground out by Jacob Barr. Schrader misses outside, not too happy with himself. Boy, there have been base runners all over the place here in the first 2 innings for the Warriors from Tuscola.
Schrader mechanically just not quite in sync right now, really flying open with his front side, his arms dropping down quite a bit.
Got that ball right in on the hands of Onstadt.
Nobody out, but I think Duffawell will start the runners here.
He's got Meyer at second. Line drive, base hit. Meyer being waved around, ball bobbled momentarily by Hastings, and that will be enough to not only allow the run to score, but for Hull to get all the way to third base. Hit and an error. It's 5-0 Tuscola. RBI for Onstadt, his 39th of the year. Here it is.
See him get through the baseball. Good follow through, good finish. And Meyer never broke stride. Good base running at the inside corner. Ball bobbled by Hastings, but I flat out guarantee Meyer's going to score easily with his athleticism and speed.
The error allowed Hull to get to third. Now Nolan Walsh, first and third, nobody out. He goes first pitch swinging to the center fielder Dasher, and he cannot come up with it. That will be a base hit, and that will be another run. It is 6-0 Tuscola.
Dasher once again, that ball was up in the air. The wind must be circling much more than we can feel up here, because it looked like he had a bead on that ball, but then boom, it just died almost like a wedge on a golf course right there. Hit the turf as Dasher laid out, but to no avail, and the rally continues.
Still nobody out, 2 runs in. Brookins had a single his last time up. Josh Brookins, first baseman. Took a pretty good cut, then that squirts foul. Brookins, another one of the football players, fullback, linebacker, leading tackler this year for the Warriors. In fact, Brookins had 17 tackles in the championship game. The game this year they lost to Dakota 47-14. As Mark said, last year before the school year, lost to this Lena Winslow team 41-27 in the state championship game. Third ball from Schrader.
Lena Winslow, in their 6-0 victory over Ottawa Marquette in the Super Sectional, made 0 errors, played flawless defense. They have 3 up on the board already, and only 3 outs recorded in the game. No outs in the second inning here.
Brookins is hit by a pitch. The bases will be loaded with nobody out. And the first state finals appearance in baseball for Lewin has not been a fun one here in the first 2 innings. With the bases loaded, that will bring up Jacob Barr. Barr already with an RBI today. Schrader works from a full windup with the infield in. That's a little dangerous with this team.
Yeah, we've seen that today. Pitchers working out of the windup with runners on, and that's something that you certainly would not expect. Now, you want the force to the plate. You cannot let any kind of walking leads take place. And so now they're making the switch from the bench. Good job.
Barr with 15 runs batted in now this season. He'll have to work from an 0-2 count. All 4 infielders on the grass. Ball and 2 strikes. There you get a good look at the left side of the infield. Logeman and here. Second baseman Ryan Wyburn. Over at first base, Adam Orhane.
Everybody in, a lot of angles for Barr to get the ball through the drawn-in infield.
He was hoping that curveball would stay inside a bit more. He was ready to take another hit by pitch.
You know, a lot of people think, okay, you want to get a ball up here and hit a fly ball and get the run in. I say no. When you got the infield drawn in, go ahead and try to get it through a drawn-in infield.
Well, because I look at it this way, Mark, and I agree completely with you. I've got two ways that I can score. I can get the ground ball through, or I can get the little chunk right over the infield.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of space right now for Barr to get this baseball safely down.
That's off the fists. Just a bit wide of the bag as Onstadt does a little hop there. He's at third, Nolan Walsh at second. Josh Brookins over at first base. Already here we have nobody out in the second inning. 15 men have come to the plate. This is the 16th batter in this game for Tuscola.
Is it physically possible for Casey Schrader to have more eye black on and underneath his face?
It would no longer be called eye black. It'd be neck black.
Look at there's a great picture of it. Can you see through that?
Well, I think it's a bit more than I think that's your warrior paint right there for Schrader. 4-year starter. He's headed to play baseball at Wisconsin Platteville. Ball 4, another run in. The walk to Barr will allow Onstadt to cross home plate. He will move Walsh to third, Brookins to second, and make it a 7-0 lead. And Tom Smargessi walking slowly. He's pointing out to Oberding in right field. I don't know whether Jake will come back into this ball game, but Schrader is leaving.
I believe it's Evan here going to take a shot at it now. I don't know who wants the ball for that baseball team right now. It's been a struggle, no doubt.
Here will come in from shortstop. So Casey Schrader not the answer today.
Take a look at Evan here's numbers at this point. The 5'10", 170 junior has a 7-1 record. 69 innings pitched. He has 85 strikeouts and just 19 base on balls. Very impressive numbers there. 73 hits, so people have moved the baseball against him. A 2.13 earned run average. But here they got a 7-win pitcher coming in down 7-0. They have to find some way to stop the bleeding. Not at all concerned about tomorrow right now. You got to get there first. They have a big hill to climb as it is.
So Schrader came in here in this inning, a error, single, a hit batter, and a walk. Those are the 5 batters that he faced. We have nobody out.
Casey Schrader going back to his shortstop position from where he started this ball game.
7 runs, 6 hits, and an error for Tuscola. No runs, no hits, and 3 errors, and we are still in the bottom of the second inning. You made the comment in the first inning, 4 runs, you've got plenty of time to catch up with that, but all of a sudden you've taken an inning off of that. 3 more are in, and you got runners at every base with nobody out.
And you have the mental approach right now, opposite ends of the continuum. You have a Tuscola team right now that basically is on top of the world physically and mentally with that 7-0 lead. They're going for, the jugular, if you will, and you've got Lewin right now who's really battling some uncertainty in their minds.
Tommy Watson, the freshman third baseman at the plate, and he was showing bunt. Don't know how serious he was with that, but any of those infielders that were on the grass, they all took about 3 more steps farther in when they saw the movement.
Hastings, Dasher, and Oberding very, very shallow.
2-0. Dasher in center field has had some problems. He's with that wind and with the sun a little bit here. That's kind of been peeking in and out all day. You get a good look at Evan here. Junior delivers, and pulling back is Watson. It's 3-0. 3-0. Nicks that outside edge. Jimmy Knight waits on deck for the Warriors.
It's probably one of those situations where he'll have the green light, one pitch, one fastball here.
Not going to matter. The second walk of this inning that forces in a run stretches the lead to 8-0. And at this point in that Lewin dugout, it is a hopeless, hopeless feeling. You have to remain hopeful that something positive happens here.
And you pan their entire defense. Body language not too positive for Lee Win, and nor should it be, chasing 8 right now, and still the base is juiced.
Number 9 hitter in the lineup, Jimmy Knight at the plate. He walked in the first inning. 4 runs in here in the second. Taking all the way, Knight sees the count go to 1-1. Long look in from Evan here. Knight will take that timeout.
Good job by Knight. He waited very patiently, and here tried to wait him out. Snail's pace right now. The pitcher can control the pace of a game. Evan here working very slowly.
On the outside corner, a ball and 2 strikes.
Now, if he comes back on the outside corner, Knight will go right with that pitch and hit it to the right side. We'll see if here tries to climb the ladder now and get a Knight to chase one above his hands and get a much-needed strikeout.
Just getting a piece of it, but it sticks into the glove of Dakota Kane. That's out number 1. To the top of the order, and Dan Yoakum batting for the 3rd time in 2 innings. Bases loaded with 1 out.
Talked about Yoakum's ability to run, 36 steals. He's never been thrown out stealing a base this year. And it would not be above him right now to lay down a drag bunt.
He goes up there swinging. Here's been moving that ball in and out a little bit. This is the 3rd batter he's faced.
Margisi probably did not anticipate having his 3rd pitcher in the game here in the 2nd inning.
Now you can run all those scenarios in the last 3 days, and that was not one of them. And a curveball gets the outside edge. Yoakum, a walk and a bounce out today. Here's 1-2 pitch. Didn't miss by much.
See, Yoakum tried to get hit by that pitch, which with a 1-2 count was actually a very smart thing. He actually stuck his elbow left front side in toward that pitch.
Yoakum is able to check it up. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 runs have already been walked in here in this inning. Outfield still playing shallow. Yoakum with the swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts from here. That gives his team a little bit of a boost, and now Philip Meyer will come to the plate. And for the 2nd time in this game, Tuscola has sent 10 men to the plate. That the first 2 innings. Meyer started this inning with a single to left. He eventually scored the first of 4 straight runs.
He laced that ball over the shortstop's head.
Brookins at 3rd. Zach Bates running for Barr at 2nd. Meyer hits this ball to the left fielder. Hastings in hard, and he will make the catch. How about the job that Evan here did? He did walk the first man he faced to force in a run. However, he goes strikeout, strikeout, fly out to minimize the damage. But damage there was. 4 runs in the inning, 3 hits, a couple of walks, a hit batter, throw in 2 errors, and it adds up to an 8-0 Tuscola lead. Dave Bernhardt, Mark Linda with you, coming to you from O'Brien Field in Peoria. Next week we will be in Joliet for the 3A and 4A state finals. Already we know that Effingham St. Anthony will be playing for the 1A title. They got there by virtue of a 6-2 win over Alton Marquette about an hour or so ago. We're in the top of the third and the top of the order. For Lena Winslow, Casey Schrader steps into the plate. Schrader, part of a 1-2-3 first inning, lined out to center.
Lena Winslow came down to the term, of course, yesterday, coming from the northern part of the state of Illinois. Stopped and practiced at Metamora. They wanted to get onto the field, but the rain down here in the Peoria area forced them inside, where they used Metamora's indoor hitting cages only before attending the banquet that you and I were fortunate enough to attend last night.
As far as that banquet is concerned, what they like to do for baseball is hold it outside at the host ballpark, have a nice cookout here in the right field area in Peoria, and the left field area in Joliet. But the weather that we had, the rain all day, they moved it inside to the hotel where all the teams were staying, and I think that worked out very nicely for all of those teams. The Peoria Area Convention and Visitors Bureau did a wonderful job of setting that up on relatively short notice.
Well done. We had a chance to meet and visit with all the coaches involved in this tournament. People were very, very helpful in helping us prepare to try to highlight their young men.
Cutting it off at third base is Tommy Watson, and he will get Schrader by a step. That'll bring us to Jake Olberding. He was the starting pitcher. Get a good look at Tommy Watson, just a freshman. Good size, 5'10". Here's Olberding, left-handed hitter, grounded out to short. On the mound, Jacob Barr. Haven't mentioned his name much because Tuscola spent so much time batting. In 2 innings, Tuscola has sent 15 men, or 15 men have reached base in the first 2 innings. They've had 20 batters come to the plate.
Yeah, you look at Barr, who throws in the low 80s velocity-wise, throwing 3 pitches, curveball, changeup, and fastball. Right now, he's just basically challenging hitters. Fastball again right there. He's going to have somebody have to beat him with his best pitch right now. He'll mix in some off-speed stuff just to get him to look at him. He's going to keep attacking and pounding the zone with his fastball.
Olberding just past the glove. The second baseman, Yoakum, and unable to handle it over at first base is Brookins. That will be an error on Josh Brookins. Second error of the game for the Warriors.
So sometimes what you think is a routine play doesn't work that way. That was indeed a changeup. Olberding got it out. He got him out on his front foot, did Barr. Easy 4-3 put out, but just not able to finish the deal.
At the first pitch, Cole Logeman swings. He swung at the first pitch his last time up, bounced out to the third baseman. Logeman, huge numbers. 496 batting average, 61 runs batted in, 14 doubles. He scored 56 runs. Can we talk about the offense for Lena Winslow? How about this? Logeman with 61 runs batted in, Adam Werhane with 50, Dakota Kane with 49, and Casey Schrader with 41 RBIs. Those are the 4 highest single RBI totals of all 4 1A teams.
Wow. You'd think there wouldn't be anybody to drive in. Everybody's cleaning each other up.
That's what they say. Olberding, he's in the perfect spot in the order because he follows Schrader and it bats in front of Logeman. And it's Olberding diving back at first base. Reached down an error. Logeman setting all sorts of Lee Win baseball records. He's going to get himself a base hit right there. In front of the right fielder Walsh. Olberding will head all the way to third. First and third on the base hit. The second of the game for Lena Winslow. The first for Logeman.
Logeman, nice piece of hitting. You talk about his strength, and he is a strong arm man. You see him at first base there. He was able to take that baseball, not get his hands over the baseball, but get his hands through the ball, drive it to the right side, and the error by first baseman Brookins on Olberding's ground ball has now opened up a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel for Lena Winslow.
Adam Werhane, the cleanup hitter, he fouled out deep in the left field corner his first time up. Werhane, 6 foot, 175-pound senior, driven in 50 runs. We mentioned a moment ago, second high on this team. 2A games to follow here in Peoria and on IHSA.tv. First game immediately following this one, a lot of folks very interested in Rock Island Alleman and Herscher. We'll wrap it up today with Westland taking on U-High. Runner runs from first, they'll throw through, but it's cut off by Yoakum, and a stolen base will be credited to Logeman.
So Jacob Barr, again, he's going to stay with his fastball, and he's going to make Lewin beat him with the fastball.
Off-speed pitch up the middle, that's going to score a run. Hole will make the play and get the out at first, the second out of the inning, but get him an RBI to Evan here, or make that to Adam Werhane. And Lena Winslow on the board.
Barr pitched 6 innings last Saturday and then came back and pitched Monday in the Super Sectional. Now started the game on Friday. So he's been the guy that they've been riding the horse throughout the last 8 days.
To get the out at third, nice snag there by Watson as Logeman is able to get back. Interesting outfield alignment. You talk about giving the gaps. Outfielders for Tuscola tight to the lines in both left and right field. The center fielder, Philip Meyer, straight away.
And I always wonder positioning of an outfield in this situation, because if you played a team 3 or 4 times, you might have some tendencies going on, but they have no clue. Right now as a scout report or a spray chart on each other, you think it might play more straight away, unless they're just playing to where they know that Barr is pitching the baseball.
This will get away from Williams, and in to score would be Logeman. Second run of the game for Lena Winslow. They've got an 8-run lead, down to 6. Wild pitch, Jacob Barr. And we're still only in the 3rd inning here.
And if you go back to the bottom of the 2nd inning, Tuscola had the bases loaded with those 8 runs already in and no one out. And they were able to hold them scoreless the rest of that inning.
Yoakum over to first base. But before that, 2 runs are in, just 1 hit. There was an error, nobody left on base. Panthers from Lewin hit the scoreboard, yet they trail 8-2 after 2.5. Those Lena Winslow Panther fans have come by way of Northwest Illinois, far northwest corner. You see their team having to play a little catch-up here. Of course, Tuscola just down in the Champaign area, nowhere near the drive that it would take to get from Champaign to Peoria as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. This is baseball here in the IHSA State Finals just across the river in East Peoria, playing softball. As we mentioned earlier, the Tuscola girls, along with the boys, both reaching the Final 4 in the state finals. However, in the first game today, as this pitch is ripped hard by Dylan Hull to center field, is tracked down there by Dasher. The Tuscola girls, tough one, lost to Seymour 1-0 on a walk-off leadoff home run in the bottom of the 7th inning today, so they'll be playing for 3rd place tomorrow morning. The other side, Goreville, a 1-0 win over Milledgeville in their ball game in the state softball finals. Speaking of Goreville, they've become kind of a regular here at the Class 1A state baseball finals as TJ Onstadt steps in. Goreville eliminated this year It was the third game of the year that Tuscola beat Goreville, and that was the point, even that early in the year, that where Duff Hole said, I think some of our players realized we could be a pretty good team after beating Goreville. In fact, the head coach for Goreville, Sean Tripp, told Hole that he would see Tuscola at the finals. Well, obviously Goreville not here, but that was a boost to Tuscola when somebody who's a regular to state finals and knows what it takes to get here can see in your team that you have the characteristics to be playing for a state title. An easy catch there by Dakota Kane, or he made it look easy.
Yeah, Coach Tripp, he does a tremendous job with that program, one of the best in his area, if not one of the top programs in Illinois, so he knows what it takes to get to Peoria. And you mentioned Tuscola's girls team right across the street, and Lee Wynn's girls softball team won a regional this year as well, so a lot of success in both these schools' athletic programs.
Talk about success in programs. The communities get wrapped up in that too. I mean, this is part of what you do, especially for these two schools that have been so strong in football. Okay, we get the signs out, we get the banners out, we have our pep rallies, we have our welcome home parties. It just keeps spiraling throughout the course of the entire athletic season, especially here for these two teams we're speaking of right now.
Well, and I know it's been said many times, but success perpetuates success. There's no doubt about that. And kids grow up wanting to be a part of a certain program, wanting to get to the state tournament, no matter what the sport is. And that's what building a program is all about.
Nolan Walsh fists this one to the third baseman. Logeman makes the play. And after sending 10 men to the plate in the first inning, 10 men to the plate in the second inning, here in the third, Evan here retires the Tuscola side in order. A very quick half inning in the bottom of the third. We'll head to the fourth. The lead remains 8-2 Warriors. Along with Mark Lindo, I'm Dave Bernhardt. Happy you've joined us here today on IHSA.TV. We're in the second of our two Class 1A semifinals. Lena Winslow trying to play a little catch-up baseball as Jacob Barr will look to minimize that. Ground ball over to Hale, and the first man in this inning, Dakota Kane, retired on one pitch. Mark, I was just about ready to say that after getting two last inning and a third inning, this becomes really an important inning for Lena Winslow. I mean, obviously, we're in the fourth inning. We're halfway through the ball game. But then this is the time of the game you could maybe turn the momentum a little bit.
Yeah, they don't need a big inning, but it would be absolutely a huge catalyst if they would score at all. Get one or two on the board. They just threw the 0 up to cut this lead maybe in half. Now you got yourself a ball game, and you get that believability back. So the mental part of the game is so important right now.
Seth Dasher standing in for Lena Winslow. He'll try Hole again at short. Makes it look easy for the second out.
Dasher will play baseball next year, keep his career going at Rockford College. He had a broken hand and missed, 4 or 5 weeks of the season earlier on. Did his sliding into a base, correct? That's how he broke his hand.
Now Duff Hole will make his way out to first base as first baseman Josh Brookins kind of somewhat stumbling around. Not sure what happened. Hamstring?
I think he might have got a little hammy on the stretch to meet that throw from Dylan Hole. Hamstring injuries seem to be in vogue in baseball right now. There's a bunch of them in the major leagues, guys missing time.
Welcome back to Peoria with Mark Lindo. I'm Dave Bernard. We apologize for technical difficulties. We can tell you what's happened here so far. Josh Brookins led off the bottom of the 4th inning with a fly ball to deep left field. It was caught by Dylan Hastings. And just now, Jacob Barr on a double to right field off the glove of right fielder Jake Olberding. His pinch runner, Zach Bates, has come on to run for him, and that brings us to Tommy Watson. Watson has singled and walked. He'll swing at the first pitch, and this is high in the infield. Schrader make the catch for the second out.
Well, Evan here has done a very solid job since he came into this game. He retired the last 3 batters in the 2nd inning, retired 3 in a row in the 3rd inning, and the first out in inning number 4, then a fly ball that went for a double on this one. So 8 of the 9. He had come off a 2-hit performance where he got the win in the super sectional. The 3rd pitcher used in this game, trying to keep his team in contention.
Jimmy Knight about a foot wide of the bag at third base. White with a walk and a strikeout. The first ball of this inning hit by Josh Brookins. When it left the bat, looked like it had a chance to get out of here, but 2 things working not in its favor would be the 12-mile-an-hour wind blowing from left field to right field. And the other, the ball didn't jump off the bat like we've maybe become accustomed to seeing. And we talked about it briefly, but new legislation enacted to make the aluminum bats a little more, can I say, more like wood-like?
Yeah, the composition is much different than the aluminum/alloy bat.
Boy, they had the pickoff initially, and they get it again. Pinch runner Zach Bates picked off at second. Here spun just to give him a look, and all of a sudden realized, wait a minute, Bates is still standing there. He fires it, he gets the pickoff, and in effect, it becomes a 1-2-3 inning. The double by Jacob Barr is wiped out, and we'll go to the 5th, 8-2, Tuscola. 4 innings in the book. We still have plenty of baseball to be played here today. A couple of Class 2A games coming up in your state finals. The only team that can feel safe right now is Effingham St. Anthony, 6-2 winners over Alton Marquette earlier today. We start the top of the 5th. Ryan Wyburn at the plate. Only the 2nd time Wyburn has batted. He's the number 9 hitter. Then we'll spin it back to the top of the Lena Winslow order. Schrader and Olberding to follow. On the mound, Jacob Barr. He has allowed only 1 hit today. He's walked a couple and has not struck out a batter. 2 runs scored in the 3rd inning for Lena Winslow. Here's a high chopper that Barr's just going to let his second baseman Yoakum handle, and he does. Well, Barr pulled back on it, didn't want to get a deflection in there, and I'm pretty happy what Dan Yoakum did with it.
Nice highlight play by the second baseman. The ball chopped over the pitcher, a little bit of indecision. He lets it go. A nice run through, if you will, and then a throw on the run, one that's practiced with many repetitions, and Yoakum makes a very solid play to record the first out.
Dan Yoakum, 5'9" junior. Standing at the plate, leadoff batter Casey Schrader, 0 for 2 today, a line out and a bounce out.
You know, when players take ground balls, it's not just the ball at you. Guys love to have ground balls hit to their left, to their back high outside, run-throughs. Those are all different opportunities that you can practice in the off-season in your backyard on the sandlot. You can probably even practice them on the PlayStation, I would assume.
I don't know if that counts.
It does for today's young athletes.
Casey Schrader, a .460 batting average. A lot of folks would say this young man is due for a hit, but he will get himself a walk.
Casey Schrader will play baseball at UW Platteville, obviously a Division III national power. Casey's dad is a veterinarian, but he keeps stats for this baseball team, and he actually goes and works on the field. There's 2 or 3 dads that work on the field for Lena Winslow. Lena Winslow plays at a city park.
Jake Olberding at the plate.
And that city park was an all-dirt field till about 4 or 5 years ago. And they laid the sod basically themselves on that field, led by the dads. And even the principal, Mark Keel, was down on his knees That's a hands-on principle, isn't it? Laying sod on your school's baseball field. I'm sure all the administrators you worked for would have done work like that on your ballpark, huh?
Get that dirt under their fingernails. Schrader trying to make Barr work a little bit over there. Barr went to the quick set that time, and Oberding will look at ball 2. Situation for Barr that realizes that Schrader doesn't mean that much. Here's a ground ball to Hale. Chance for 2. There's 1. Yoakum can't get it out of his glove, and that is enough to allow Oberding to beat the throw to first.
Well, that's one Yoakum would like back. You had a tailor-made ring him up double play hole with a one hopper right at him. Yoakum came across the base. You'll see him come across the base on this one hopper. He comes across the base cleanly, but just can't get out of his glove. So a little bit of frustration, but they got the important out, and that was the lead runner there and the sure force out.
Here we go.
Cole Logeman at the plate. He is grounded out. He also stole a base, moved up in a ground ball, and then scored on a wild pitch.
Go.
Short right field. Making the grab, Nolan Walsh, and that's another quiet inning for Lena Winslow. To the bottom of the 5th we go, the 6-run lead, holding strong for Tuscola. It may look nice and warm and sunny, but there you see some hooded sweatshirts as well. Temperatures creeping to the mid-60s. We should hit 70s tomorrow, but you have to like the sunshine. Jimmy Knight, Dan Yoakum, and Phil Meyer for Tuscola here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, it is a great day for baseball. Just some white puffy clouds, a little bit breezy, aiding the pitchers, not the hitters, but a lot of sunshine.
Knight with a swing and a miss. He was at the plate when Zach Bates was picked off second base to close out the 4th inning. Evan here working, and this is just off the other bat. Off the dugout high hop, about 8 rows in, and a one-handed snag. Nicely played.
Sign him up.
Yeah, got it. The left hand was holding the popcorn, the right hand got the baseball. Remember the days in the state finals where you had to throw those baseballs back? Now you get to keep them.
Yeah, I remember the days they would have, 6, 8, 10, 8 or 10-year-olds running around the bleachers and grabbing them away from some 5-year-old.
Pitch to Knight. Again, he gets a piece of it. Fans for the game. Our next game coming up, starting to work their way in here. It was scheduled for a 3 o'clock first pitch. We're not going to hit that, but it will be Rock Island Alleman and Herscher. Two teams that are very respectful of each other. That'll be a fun game. Here misses low.
Here's done a very solid job since he came in. He's been around the zone consistently.
Knight will step out. Catch his breath a little bit there.
You're definitely a deliberate worker.
Up the middle, base hit. That's how we'll start the bottom of the 5th. Good at bat there. The number 9 hitter, Jimmy Knight. Fouled off enough pitches, got something he liked. And he's on for the top of the order in Dan Yoakum.
Interesting to see how here works from the set or stretch position out of the windup, and now it looks like the set. You'll see him work on the first base side of the pitching rubber. Very interesting. We'll talk about that after this pitch, the advantage or disadvantage to where he's working from.
Yoakum shows bunt. Running is Knight, and he will be in there with the stolen base.
So Duff Holt staying aggressive here with his team. Now, when you work on the first base side of the pitching rubber, it usually is an advantage to the pitcher if you're a two-seam fastball pitcher and you can make the ball run down and in on right-handed hitters. A lot of coaches like to teach to work on the third base side of the rubber.
Bunting for a base hit is Yoakum. He'll move the runner to third. Yoakum will get credit for the sacrifice, and that puts Knight 90 feet away.
And when you work on the third base side of the pitching rubber, what that does is give your arm angle a little bit more of a visual deterrent to a right-handed hitter. So there's two different schools of thought. Some coaches make you do it a certain way. Some coaches give you the leeway to do what you feel most comfortable with.
Infield in on the grass with one out for Philip Meyer. Meyer today batted 3 times in the first 2 innings, fouled out to the catcher, singled and scored a run. That came in the second inning, and then also flew out to left. Meyer, 18 runs batted in this season. This is fouled out of play and comes up just short of the second level here at O'Brien Field. The luxury level, which is where Mark Lindo and I are sitting.
3 suites.
Yep.
Nothing but the best for us.
We are directly behind home plate. What a great vantage point here. Meyer ropes us into left field. He gets himself an RBI. He gets himself the second hit of his second hit of the game, and he makes it a 9-2 Tuscola lead.
What a nice looking hitter he is, as he was able to sit back. He knew the infield was in, kept his hands back, let the baseball get deep to him, which allows you that much more vision and ability to make a last-second decision. And he just rips that ball into left field. And he'll be running somewhere in the sequence as well.
Dylan Hull at the plate, the number 3 hitter in his dad's lineup. Meyer holds on the first pitch. It's interesting, you have your number 3 hitter, coach's son, and Duff says, you know, the best bunter on my team is my son Dylan, but I haven't had him bunt all year. That's because he swings a pretty good stick. Dylan Hull, a .422 batting average.
You can just tell he carries himself like he's been around the game his whole life, which he has.
3 for 3 in the super sectional, a triple for Hull. Headed to play at Kaskaskia College next year. And he doesn't like how much time that here is taking on the mound. That's slightly open stance. Meyer stays tight at first base. Not much of a lead for Meyer there.
Schrader and Wyborn at short and second respectively, up and in double play depth, hoping for a ground ball, but I would venture to guess Dylan Hull would be a very difficult young man to double up with his speed.
Hull, a wide receiver and punter. The football team, ground ball left side, up off the glove of Schrader, had to go a long ways. That will be a base hit for Hull.
And that was a base hit because of what we had just described, and the defensive positioning was proper, up and in. You have to have an opportunity to return a double play, but that just left a little bit more of a hole between third baseman Logeman and shortstop Schrader, and Hull was able to get the ball right through that hole, right off the glove of the shortstop Schrader.
Now the conference at the mound includes head coach for Lena, Winslow. He's made a few trips out there today. Tom Smargessi. Smargessi, graduate of Pawnee High School and Valley City State. That's in Valley City, North Dakota. And he gets his say. The infield will break it up. First and second. We have one out here in the 5th inning. For those of you that keep track of such things, of course, in the 5th here, this is where the 10-run rule could come into play. And the tying run in that, it sounds weird to say it, the tying run is at the plate. The game-ending run is at the plate in this situation. TJ Onstadt, the man at the dish, hit by a pitch, single, drove in a run. He scored twice today. And this is foul. Duff Hole will make the catch and boots it. You know, we always ask the coach, any awards you've had, coaching awards, playing awards, and Duff Hole has a great sense of humor. He says, you know what? I'm so old, they didn't even have awards when I played.
I'll tell you what, he's a very animated young man. Even though he's been around a long time, he's just animated. He acts like a young man with his enthusiasm, his energy, and it's contagious. His team plays with that same kind of energy.
It's only his second year as a head coach at Tuscola High School, 36-32 record. However, he has coached Little League teams in Tuscola for the past 23 years. The same Little League team. How about that? Tapper Ronstad, nice snag there by here. Wanted to go to second, instead gets the force at third.
That's an unorthodox play that you don't see very much because he had the right mindset, and that was to go the 1-6-3 double play. He looked at second, didn't think he had an out, and ironically got the lead runner at third once he knew he couldn't get the double play.
I'll bring up Nolan Walsh. Good day for Walsh. Couple of singles, couple of RBIs, couple of runs scored. He's also grounded out to third. Walsh, the right fielder. 6-foot junior. Again, here has done just such a solid job here today. This is his fourth inning. It's only allowed one run.
Nolan Walsh, a 17-game hitting streak earlier on in the year. Very impressive.
And then it's really hard to do in high school baseball. When you play every day, you get into a groove. In the major leagues, 17 games in the major leagues is a big deal. But you get into a groove every day. A 17-game hitting streak, that could be, 3 or 4 weeks, depending on your weather and game conditions.
Yeah, and ironically, a name that I know Andy Weiss was fortunate. I had a fortune to coach him. He played at college at St. Francis. He had a state record 41-game hitting streak, which covered the end of his junior year, like the first 29 games of his senior. That was incredible, all the different ways he found to get base hits.
And Walsh will walk, and that will load the bases, something that we saw in the first and second innings multiple times. That will bring us to Josh Brookins.
We'd have to get the computer out. I'm not so sure if that's still not the IHSA record for hitting streak or it's been broken by now. But if it has, you're talking about somebody who's a great young hitter, because to beat 41 is pretty impressive.
What's amazing about that too is that these are 7-inning games max, so you don't get that extra at bat that you might get in the 8th and 9th innings.
Great point. Yeah.
Brookins will take inside. Brookins today has a single, one of the 9 hits that Tuscola has today. Hit by a pitch and flew out to left. Hit the ball really well his last time up on a deep fly ball. And he flinches on that curveball. Hole at third, Onstad at second, and Walsh over at first base.
And Walsh actually the winning run if he were to score this inning.
Brookins can't pull the trigger. He's down in the count, 1-2. Average leads at all the bases. And that one scoots by. The wild pitch will score. Hole with the second run of the inning, the 10th run of the game.
Now a base hit, and it is game, set, and match for Tuscola. So Lewin right now trying, honestly, to extend the game. They want to get 6 more outs out of this game, and here has to keep Brookins from getting a base hit in order for them to do just that.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the count goes full. Brookins at weight back. Here's the pitch, a swing and a miss. And here will get himself out of this inning. He will extend the game. However, 2 more runs cross the plate, 3 hits in the inning. Tuscola commanding 8-run lead, 10-2. We go to the 6th. The time is now for Lena Winslow. They've got to put some points on the board here, trailing by 8. That 8-run difference, it all happened in the first 2 innings when Tuscola put 4 on the board in the first, 4 more in the second, sent 10 men to the plate in each inning. But starting it off here in the 6th, ball hit high to center field by Adam Werhane, but Philip Meyer, the good speed, tracks it down, 1 out.
Well, we can't sing the praises of Meyer enough. The way he swings the bat, the way he patrols center field, the way he gets off the sound of the bat, off the swing. Talked about his quarterback prowess, just a great athlete. What a nice guy to have in center field. When you have Meyer in center field, Hole and Yoakum up the middle, you have a very good start to a good defense.
Evan here making his 3rd plate appearance, walked and grounded out. Very quietly, you look at Jacob Barr. Nothing flashy, does not have a strikeout. He's walked 3. He's only given up 1 hit. That was a single by Cole Logeman in the 3rd inning. That was the inning that Leewind scored their 2 runs.
And Barr came in with, he had allowed 74 hits in 68 innings, which, isn't bad, but usually not the numbers you see in the high school state semifinals. Usually more dominating, more electric numbers than that, but he just knows how to win. He took the lead with his team's offense and just, he's not beating himself.
They'll try Hole again at short. Boy, he is so smooth. You can tell the initial reaction. Now, that was an easy hopper, okay? But you could just tell his first step was very relaxed. He read the ball off the bat, knew where that hop was coming, and then makes that good throw.
He squares off his back foot to make that throw. Solid fundamentally.
Dakota Kane now reached on an error, grounded out to short. It's a tough game for Leewind when you're stuck behind the 8 ball, literally, giving up 8 runs in the first 2 innings. And you can battle back, but at some point you just, that extra frustration, not that you pound the dirt in frustration, but the inner frustration that, boy, we have a long way to go.
Yeah, it was an early onslaught that they just could not overcome.
Been similar these first 2 games, the 2 Class 1A games. Big first innings. In fact, a 4-run bottom of the first inning led St. Anthony to an eventual 6-2 win over Alton Marquette. 4 runs at the bottom of the first here. Tuscola looking like they are headed for that state title game as well. Kane has to turn and fight that one off in the inside corner. Coming up next, the 28-12 Rock Island Alleman Pioneers. They will take on Herscher Tigers at 33-7. Two-out walk will bring us to Seth Dasher.
Tuscola outfield playing very deep for Dasher in respect to his ability to drive the baseball.
Again, that wind blowing strong, about 12 miles an hour from the left field pole to the right field pole.
Interesting that Barr chose on the previous pitch to throw over and try to pick off the runner Dakota Kane, considering he has the big lead.
High in the air, have to play the wind here. Yoakum is able to do it. And that closed out the top of the 6th. Only one man reaches base here. The score remains the same. 10-2 Tuscola. They need 2 to end it here in the 6th. Beautiful blue skies behind those clouds here at downtown Peoria's O'Brien Field, the home of the Class A Midwest League. Peoria Chiefs, the affiliate of the Chicago Cubs. That's where all these teams, state baseball, 366 of them in Class 1A and 2A, aspire to be here on June 1st. Only 4 made it. Jacob Barr, Tommy Watson, Jimmy Knight. He's 7, 8, 9 in the order as Barr lofts this one to left field. Hastings retreats. The ball starting to carry a little bit better here as the temperatures have warmed up. But that's out number 1.
And the Cubs on a winning streak, huh?
That's what the rumor is.
Get the white flag out.
Good production here from the bottom part of the order. Barr with a couple of RBIs. Also had a hit. Now Tommy Watson, who comes to the plate. He has 2 runs batted in. Singled one in the first inning, and he walked with the bases loaded in the second inning. Jimmy Knight to follow. Single and a run scored last inning. To the shortstop. Schrader with it. 2 outs. The 3 innings that Tuscola has scored, they sent 10 men to the plate in the first, 10 in the second, 6 in the fifth. Now in the first 2 innings, when they scored 4 runs in each of those innings, they left the bases loaded each time. So this thing really could have gotten out of hand early. Jimmy Knight. Seems like he just batted. That's because he did. He was the first man up last inning, actually, when Tuscola sent 7 men to the plate. So in their 3 scoring innings, they batted 27 players.
It's a lot of activity.
Here delivers the curveball, hits the inside corner. Very quickly here on top of the count, 0-2. Knight stays alive. He stayed alive last at bat. Fouled off some pitches with 2 strikes, ended up getting himself a single. Knight, 436 batting average coming into this game, and we mentioned earlier, limited action, broke a finger early in the season. Just below the knob of the bat.
Tuscola, 14 hits, as we mentioned, in the super sectional, and 9 hits up on the board through 5 2/3 innings here today.
Again, Knight proving to be a tough out from the number 9 spot in the order. Outfield shallow for him. Hastings probably the deepest man in left field. This sticks the bat out. Here comes first baseman Hanen will make the catch in foul territory, and that's a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the 6th. Speaking of 3, that's how many outs Tuscola needs to play for the state championship. It would be their first state title appearance in their school's history. They've done it in football several times. They need 3 outs as we go to the 7th. They are dancing in Peoria. My suspicion right there, that softball jersey, they may be a few of those young ladies that just came from East Peoria, crushing semifinal loss for the Warriors in state softball, 1-0 to Seymour, and a walk-off home run in the 7th inning. But you know what? You can forget about that pretty quickly, can't you?
Yeah, you know, you're here with all your friends, your people you graduate with, people you've gone to school with for 6, 7, 8, 9 years, and you forget in a hurry. High school young men and young ladies pretty resilient.
Dylan Hastings with the bounce out to Barr. And for a Lena Winslow team that put a lot of runs on the board this season, they have 2, but just 1 hit here. That was by Logeman in the 3rd inning, and now Ryan Wyburn will come in, the number 9 hitter. Wyburn today 0 for 2, grounded out to second base, and Yoakum twice.
Yeah, Barr has spun a very solid baseball game in very efficient fashion. I know his pitch count is down, don't have a total for us, but I know he's been around the plate. He's used his defense, and they have made plays behind him for the most part.
Well, and you've mentioned that when he is on the mound, the overall defense, just the way everything is structured, just falls out nicely for Tuscola, and that's the sort of thing that you need here in his state finals appearance. There's the walk, and that is his 5th walk of the day. He's scattered those walks. Now Tuscola has made a couple of errors. Top of the order we go. Casey Schrader, officially 0 for 2 with the walk. Schrader got some pitching time in. It was not the most fun times for him. He faced 5 batters, 3 of them eventually scored. He'll foul this one out of play straight back. He came on in relief of Jake Oberding. Oberding gave up 4 runs in the first. He was charged with another run in the second. Line drive just over the reach of Dylan Howell. So runners at first and second as Schrader picks up the Panthers' 2nd hit of the game.
Hole looked like he thought he had a beat on that ball. He did not drop step for the baseball whatsoever. Looked like he had his jump time, but just a little bit out of his reach was that softly hit line drive to get into left field.
Jake Oberding at the plate, left-handed hitter. Reached on an error and scored in the 3rd inning. Waves that stick. And we'll take it for a strike. Look out. If you were sitting in the suite level, you would have had to have been alert for that one.
Oberding 5'11", 160. Will grow into his body even more as he matures.
To the right side, Brookins, he'll go the natural way to second. They try to turn it when it may not have been there. Nice job by Yoakum, the second baseman, to get over there and save it. But a good job by Brookins, and there, folks, the advantage being a left-handed first baseman.
And the attempt on that play was a 3-6-4 double play.
So you talk about unorthodox. That was Barr's job to get over there and come up the first base line and be the receiver of that throw. But how about Yoakum going over and saying, what the heck, I'll make a hustle play.
Cole Logan at the plate, popped up in the infield. Brookins makes the catch. Tuscola will head to the state championship game tomorrow morning where they'll face Effingham St. Anthony. So the baseball team, 5 of the players in the 2010 football championship game that lost to Lewin, they get their revenge on the baseball diamond. They knock off the Panthers from Lena Winslow 10-2, and they will be playing Effingham St. Anthony tomorrow morning for the Class 1A state title.
Well, 2 big innings, 2 4 spots on the board. Bottom of 1, bottom of 2, some very aggressive baseball, some very aggressive base running. We saw a little bit of everything, and then it was just the Jacob Barr workman-like victory, and they do indeed, Tuscola, advance to the title game.
Lena Winslow will play at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. They will take on Alton Marquette. And then following that one, Effingham St. Anthony, they'll bring a 38-1 record. They will face the 24-13 Tuscola Warriors. Once again, your final score here as we wrap up Class 1A semifinals. It's Tuscola 10, Lena Winslow 2. Now stay right there because in about 40 minutes, we will have Class 2A action. The teams are getting ready, loosened up on the field. It'll be Rock Island Alleman taking on Herscher. But the final score in 1A, Tuscola 10, Lena Winslow 2. For our entire IHSA.TV crew and for my partner Mark Lindo, I'm Dave Bernhardt. Stick with us in Peoria. 2A coming up next.